Why do I overthink everything? Why do small decisions become heavy? Why does your mind replay conversations, analyze tone, predict outcomes, and rehearse scenarios that may never happen? Overthinking is one of the most misunderstood symptoms in modern life. It is rarely about intelligence. It is rarely about curiosity. It is rarely about being thoughtful. Overthinking is usually protection. When you overthink everything, your nervous system is scanning for risk. Not dramatic risk, relational risk, social risk, failure risk, rejection risk, embarrassment risk. Overthinking feels mental. It is physiological. The body tightens first. The mind follows. If your nervous system learned early that mistakes had consequences, you adapted. You became careful. You became observant. You became strategic. You learned to anticipate outcomes before they unfolded. Anticipation reduced shock. Reduced shock reduced pain. Now, years later, the same pattern operates automatically. You analyze what you said. You analyze what they meant. You analyze what could happen next. You analyze what you should have done differently. The mind believes analysis creates control. Control creates temporary safety. But control through thought does not create regulation. It creates exhaustion. Overthinking is often a freeze response, disguised as productivity. Freeze does not always look like paralysis. It can look like mental looping. The body hesitates to act. The mind compensates by thinking more. Thinking feels like movement, but it is internal motion without external resolution. You may believe that if you think long enough, you will arrive at certainty. Certainty is rarely the real goal. Safety is. Overthinking attempts to create certainty so the nervous system can relax. The problem is that certainty is impossible in most areas of life. So the mind continues scanning. Scanning for mistakes. Scanning for signs of disapproval. Scanning for evidence that something is wrong. This pattern often forms in environments where emotional unpredictability existed. If you had to read between the lines, if you had to sense mood shifts, if you had to adjust your behavior to maintain harmony, your nervous system became highly attuned. Attunement became vigilance. Vigilance became identity. Now you call yourself an overthinker. In reality, you became skilled at prediction. Prediction once kept you safe. Now prediction keeps you stuck. Overthinking narrows perception. When you are in an overthinking loop, options disappear. Everything feels urgent. Everything feels consequential. Everything feels like it could go wrong. That urgency tightens the body. Tightness increases mental intensity. Mental intensity increases more thinking. The loop strengthens. Another layer exists beneath this. Perfectionism. If you learn that approval was earned through performance, mistakes feel costly. If mistakes feel costly, you attempt to eliminate them through excessive preparation. Preparation becomes rumination. Rumination becomes identity. You may believe you are being responsible. Often you are bracing. Bracing is exhausting. The nervous system cannot rest while rehearsing. You may notice that overthinking increases at night. At night, distraction drops. The body slows. Suppressed activation rises. Thought fills the silence. Silence feels unfamiliar. Familiarity feels safe. Overthinking fills space so you do not have to sit with uncertainty. Uncertainty feels threatening when your nervous system equates unpredictability with danger. There is also a social layer. Modern culture rewards hyper-analysis. We are told to optimize. Optimize finances. Optimize relationships. Optimize productivity. Optimization can easily become obsession. The more you believe every decision determines your future, the heavier each decision feels. Weight increases hesitation. Hesitation increases thinking. Thinking increases doubt. Doubt increases thinking again. Overthinking is not a character flaw. It is a nervous system that does not trust ease. Ease feels careless. Ease feels exposed. Ease feels vulnerable. So you think, and think, and think. The shift begins by separating thinking from safety. Thought does not equal protection. Regulation equals protection. When your breath slows, your perception widens. When your body softens, your thoughts slow naturally. The mind follows the body. If you attempt to stop thoughts without calming the body, resistance increases. Resistance intensifies. Focus on the very thought you want gone. Instead, lower activation first. Longer exhales than inhales. Slower speech. Grounded posture. Reduced stimulation. As the body shifts, the mind reduces its urgency. Then observe the thought. Is this thought solving something real? Or is it attempting to prevent discomfort? Most overthinking attempts to prevent emotional discomfort. Discomfort of being misunderstood. Discomfort of failing. Discomfort of not knowing. Life includes discomfort. Overthinking tries to remove it. That attempt is endless. Confidence does not come from thinking more. Confidence comes from tolerating uncertainty. When you allow a decision to stand without replaying it, you expand capacity. When you send the message without rehearsing every interpretation, you expand capacity. When you allow silence without filling it, you expand capacity. Capacity reduces overthinking. You are not meant to control every variable. You are meant to respond to reality as it unfolds. Overthinking lives in imagined futures. Regulation lives in the present. The present rarely contains as much threat as the imagined future. Ask yourself gently, is this problem happening now, or is it anticipated? That distinction creates space. Space interrupts urgency. Urgency fuels rumination. You do not eliminate overthinking by force. You outgrow it by building safety. Safety in imperfection. Safety in uncertainty. Safety in being misunderstood. Safety in not knowing the next step. The mind relaxes when it no longer believes hypervigilance is required. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness noticing them. The moment awareness strengthens, thought loses authority. Overthinking is not evidence of weakness. It is evidence of intelligence used in survival. Survival does not need to lead forever. You can be thoughtful without being trapped in thought. You can be reflective without being consumed. You can be aware without being hypervigilant. The shift is subtle. It is repeated. It is embodied. Overthinking everything is not who you are. It is how you adapted. Adaptation can be updated. I share a grounded truth. My name is Nicole Oliveena, designer of emotional architecture, and these are my authentic words. Please like, subscribe, and share. It allows the good to win in the world.